Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of the weekly stock series. However, before we jump in, if you enjoy weekly stock updates and real investing transparency, hit like, subscribe and comment your take on the stock this week. Alright, welcome back to the weekly series where I buy 10 shares of My editor just fired a chargeback on that word, so let's get into the update. First of all, I have to apologize. Last week's update didn't come in time. That's because, while I was filming the episodes, everything went bad, and it didn't work out at the end, so that it wouldn't save the recording. And since I was very short on time that week, I couldn't really redo the whole thing. So today I decided to make some sort of a fusion episode where I cover the contents of the PayPal Weekly number 12 and number 13. So let's get right into it. First of all, comments, we didn't have any, so that's quick to let go. Next PayPal price in this episode, so for the last week it was $41.65, which was already quite the increase. As you can see, over 5 days, 6% increase. That's massive. Percentage-wise, if we have a look at the bigger picture, the longer term, naturally it's not really good to make up for all the losses we've made, but it's good to see some green in here. So let's come to the current week, which we've just experienced, and this one actually went even better with 11% over just 5 days. That's crazy. And now even the 1 month change, although it still looks pretty bad, it doesn't look just as bad anymore as it used to. So leaving us at $46, and we're actually coming very dangerously fast to the $50 mark. For me personally, I've made my resolve with PayPal. Everything under $50, I'll try to invest a bigger amount or as much as I can afford at the time. Since currently I'm not quite as liquid, I can't really spend too much on PayPal as I want to. However, in a few weeks, in like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, that's going to change. So I can even make a bigger one-time investment at that point in time. Well, that's still taking a while, and we don't know where the stock is by that time. It could be way higher, it could be way lower. And depending on either course of action, I will have to reevaluate if I want to invest a lot of money. Because if it's going down, maybe I don't want to buy. Probably I will buy, and I will buy even more if it goes lower. But naturally, my opinion is subject to change on the circumstances. And right now, things are looking very interesting with this situation in Iran. So can't really tell where the stock market is headed. And when everything's going down, I might want to add to other positions of mine as well, not just PayPal, because PayPal is a bargain, but other stocks certainly can be a bargain too, and then you may want to add to that as well. So that's something I have to keep in mind. And if PayPal by any chance goes to like, I don't know, $60 in the matter of 2 weeks, then obviously I'm not going to buy as much of a big chunk as I intended to do either, unless fundamentals change so much that I do think it's worth a try. So personally, I think it's very positive that PayPal is doubling down on PayPal ads. I don't really care about any takeovers. I would appreciate if PayPal is not being taken over, since I believe in the business and the business model. So I'm not really a fan of PayPal being a takeover candidate, as some people may call it, but that's that. So let's have a look at my PayPal purchases. So I bought 15 shares 2 weeks ago, basically the last episode that was supposed to show that, and then in this week I bought another 14 shares. So in this update, basically you see 29 shares more than I had before. So my invested amount went from $8,202 to $9,440, which is quite a bit, if I may say so myself. So very soon we will hit the $10,000 mark, leaving us at a 5-figure invest in a single stock. So looking very much forward to that. Next week it's very likely that I cannot buy any PayPal shares. I will have to see, maybe it's possible, maybe it's not. I can't really promise anything, since the one-time payment I get is going to come in a bit delayed, which is like in 14 days. And yeah, that makes it so that I can't really buy anything this week, and probably next week either. It really depends. So I have to see. Okay. PayPal price action. So for once actually the first time ever since the making of this video series, we are not just green, but also green big, and then green twice in a row. So that's cool, that's very nice. And as you can see, the percent change since start, it's gone higher as well. So we are just at a negative of 25%. That is of course compared to the price of the very first video. Since we DCA'd into the stock, our percent loss is lower than this, just so you know, guys. But if you had invested everything you had at the airing of the first episode, then you would have made a loss of 25% for the stock, not counting in any dividends. So let's have a look at my total gain loss and the weekly gain loss. So over the course of a week, last week, I made $200, which is the biggest gain we've made ever with PayPal. Not the biggest move that was here, but the biggest gain we've made. And then over the next week, we had an even bigger increase, which is $774, which is quite the hefty sum, considering this is just a 1 week move. However, big moves come and go, so this is not a thing that occurs every week now, obviously. And considering we've had plenty of moves downward that were just as big or even bigger, it's still not looking great. But as you can see, if we keep up the tempo in like 1 or 2 more weeks, we are already in the positive, which I didn't expect to see this soon. But we'll see where it goes. So that's some positive for this week. Naturally, the negative is we can't buy for as cheap, but well, there's always two sides to the coin, right? Next, the dividends and the expected dividends, and this is for once very important because the ex-dividend date is coming up soon, which we will be leading with 179 shares. So according to this share amount, we will receive our dividend. So the actual first dividend I am going to receive with PayPal is going to be $25. So that's a quarter of $100. Very nice. The projected yearly dividend leaves us at $100.24. Naturally, since I'm planning on buying on more, it's going to look even higher than this, and the projected monthly dividend is $8.35. So that's it for the upcoming dividends. Now let's have a look at the news. So obviously the dividend X-Day is coming up right ahead, which is the 4th of March. So that's coming up very soon. As I said before, I won't be able to buy by then. So even though I would love to increase my position before, especially like hitting that juicy 200 stock mark would be great, but I can't really do that right now, so that's that. Next, PayPal is attracting takeover interest, and I would like to give my 2 cents on the matter. I did mention it before, however, yeah, I'm not a fan of PayPal being taken over by any kind of company. It being Stripe would be better than most other companies. However, I'm glad PayPal is not looking to sell itself. So that's a good thing in my mind, because I highly believe in the company. And even though PayPal being taken over would lead to a massive short-term stock increase. I'm invested since I'm convicted in the business. I really think that PayPal can do thousands of percent in gain for me. So if this takeover maybe gives us 50%, 60% in stock price action, then I'm actually not so intrigued, because I really want this to work out, and I really want those big numbers, those big gains. Of course, it's better than having PayPal go to zero slowly over the next couple of years. However, I believe in PayPal. I believe in the PayPal ads business, because if they do it the way I imagine it to be, then this could be an utter game changer. PayPal could make billions of dollars with that, and with the current weakness of the dollar, it's basically only looking better, because PayPal is making a lot of money overseas as well. I mean, they have insurances for that to cover, and those don't just work when the dollar is going stronger, but also when it goes weaker. So this basically stabilizes the income, despite it being, or should have been bigger than it's looking like. However, in the long term, that's a good thing. So or at least from the looks of it. So next, Truist kept the sell rating. I mean, that was to be expected. And Rainforest launched embedded PayPal integration. So I think that's a good news when it comes to the future with PayPal. And all those partnerships that they're launching over time. It's not a big thing, but it certainly adds to the PayPal future, and that's always a great thing to see, even though it's just something small. So that's pretty much all I have to offer news-wise. I think starting today, the new CEO is taking his job, and I'm very much looking forward to what he's going to tell us. But other than that, we are basically, we have basically reached the end of this episode. So, despite it being a double episode, I've tried to keep it short. I hope you guys are still invested and interested in this series. I noticed that, the interactions have gone down a bit, but that's understandable since PayPal stock price has basically gone nuclear for most investors, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people lost a lot of money, and I understand when you guys have sold your positions and never want to look at PayPal again, including the series. However, I'm convicted in the stock. I hope that the new CEO is trustworthy, even though his track record doesn't quite tell me so, but I'm always a fan of giving everyone a fair chance. So without further ado, enjoy the weekend, and I see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.